Hi, my name is Monte Tilgner with the Iowa High School Athletic Association. This training video will be another one of our position-specific videos focusing on the umpire. We'll look at the mechanics, philosophies, judgment, and rulings that umpires have to make to be effective in all different play situations they will encounter during a game. Let's take a look at our first play. Rules knowledge of who can block below the waist and who can block legally in the back is very important for our referee and our umpires. So, knowing that a linebacker can never block below the waist or be blocked below the waist because he's not on the line of scrimmage is imperative. That rules knowledge is something that we simply have to have. Anytime you see someone release to the linebacker, you need to make sure you see the action here. So, illegal block, in this case, by the defender, by the linebacker. Remember, only player on his line of scrimmage can block low. Must be immediate initial action at the snap. There's no way that can happen on a linebacker, so he cannot block low or be blocked low. So when this lead back comes out and releases to the linebacker, we want you to make sure you see that action and see that that linebacker went low on the lead blocker. And that is something that you need to make sure you focus on. Anybody who comes out to your linebacker should be a big red flag for one of your highest potentials for a foul. Again, knowing it's a foul and who should see it in this case. This case, again, we have a running back who's going to come out and get a block on a linebacker. And if we take a look right here, it looks like our umpire is looking right through all this action to this block. And as my note here says, when any defender, even if it's your generally our umpire has guard, center, guard. Even if the nose guard beats the center, once he's 2 to 3 yards in the offensive backfield, we just need to totally release him and find another block. Our referee, one of his primary responsibilities to pick up anybody who threatens his quarterback. So if anyone breaks through the line, the referee is going to shift his focus to that action. So knowing that, as a umpire, we need to get off that block and find another block. So if you get off of this block, then again, you're going to see this running back come out on this linebacker and go low. Not only does he block low, he also holds. So again, we need to make sure we shift our focus there. Let's look at the starting position of our umpire. I do really like his starting position, just a yard or two behind our linebackers. That's exactly where we want you to be. Finding a lot of our umpires who are 8, 9, even 10 yards downfield on a regular scrimmage play. And we want you to be 6, 7 yards, 5, 6, 7 yards, but a yard or two behind the linebackers depending on where they are. So again, this is one that we would want our umpire to pick up. We have other officials who could help out as well on that one. Our referee probably could have that block. Our line of scrimmage official could have that block. And really, there's not a whole lot of other things to focus on. But just remember, umpires pick up blocks on and by your linebackers on anyone who releases out to them to the second level for the block. And again, there's our rule reference. All who are on the line of scrimmage and at the free blocking zone at the snap can block below the waist. Contact has to be in the free blocking zone and immediate action following the snap. Going back then and taking a look quickly at this one, these are the only two defenders that can block low or be blocked low. So these linebackers cannot block low or be blocked low. This running back cannot block low or be blocked low. This is something that we need to improve on, and I heard this in a podcast not too long ago, and it's just excellent mechanics of an umpire to get you in better position to see that second and third wave action in the middle of the field as they're going down the field in blocks. So the number one thing is we want our umpires to on punt plays start out closer. So in this case, if you want to start where you are, that's fine. You're about 6-7 yards, but it's important that you step up to here as soon as you can, and then you spin, and you're going to focus on blocks on the middle third for offensive holds and block in the backs. So right now we want to step up, and then if you take a look here, the first, if you've stepped up already to this position, now you can see this first block. That's the one that you'd be focusing on right there. Okay, we're going to look at several blindside blocks. Umpires, you have to remember, you are not responsible for the runner. You should not be looking at the runner. You should not be looking at the ball carrier. You're not responsible for that action. That's our wing officials who are responsible for forward progress and action on and around the runner. We need you to focus on blocks. So this is a good example of a good pickup by two of our officials, but this is actually one that our umpire, if we're in proper position, it's going to take us right to this blindside block. So again, umpires in this case, take a look. We can start up a lot closer. We can start right up here, 2 yards behind these linebackers, and then step up. So now, let's take a look at this umpire. He actually pivots away from the players. We obviously, if the players go to your left, we want you to pivot towards them, keeping them in your vision the entire time. So as we go slow motion here, you can see our umpire actually pivots away from all the action and just keep players are the ones who are going to foul. So pivot towards them, watching them. And again, umpire, let's only worry about this. If you were, again, in the middle of the field and just 2 to 3 yards beyond the original neutral zone, then you're going to be in perfect position. You don't need to drift more than 5, maybe 10 yards downfield, and that's on a long punt, and that's when all those linemen are getting past you. So again, if we continue, if the umpire was still in this position, then you'd be looking back here. You'd be on this block right now, but pretty soon you would see this guy running at a high rate of speed with a brick in his hand. And again, umpire, if you are right here, which is where we would want you, you're gonna give up this block when you see this, and you're gonna get that block right there. And just a reminder, umpires, we want you staying more in the middle of the field till the play's over. We would never want you that close to the sideline. Again, a blindside block that our umpire could pick up and expand your vision. Remember, you're not responsible for the runner. All right, so talking about wing play here. Our umpire liked the positioning of our umpire. Okay, and he's still in good position. We're watching backside blocks, remember. And I mean, if you're standing there, which is a great position for you to be in, what are you looking at? There's nothing to look at here. So you need to see this guy with the brick in his hand, and it'd be a great pickup by our umpire to see that block. We have other officials maybe who could see it, but that would be one that our umpire definitely could pick up. Next blindside block, again, this is one that our umpire could pick up. Oops, sorry. Let's see what that action was. Okay, just talking about initial keys, fire line of scrimmage, and our back judge. Umpire does a nice job of stepping up here. Remember on a drop back pass. So in this case, our umpire is, we're about 7 yards, but we're in good position. We're about 2 yards behind that linebacker. And then when we read that drop back pass, we want to step up, which we do, and step up to 3 to 4 yards. So ideally, we're snapping that ball at the 39, step up to the 42, 43 yard line. And if we do so, we step up, you can see perfect. We're at 42, 43. And now you're going to pivot. And again, you are watching backside blocks. So right now, again, you are not responsible for the runner. So we'd want you focused. This is a potential block in the back. This here with this offensive player on that defender is a potential blindside block. So those are the two blocks we want the umpire to be focused on at this point. Again, we don't have anything, but this is potential now for a block in the back. One of these two guys could possibly block in the back. Again, it looks like our umpire's watching the runner. We do not want our umpires watching the runner. And if we go back here, all right, so if we're in good position, again, we're looking at this action, but you are not, do not need to watch the runner. So if you are open in your vision, you're going to see this guy going. Everyone else is starting to slow down, and we got a player who's starting to speed up and go faster. So just take a look at this block, and then we'll go back in slow motion. Okay, that has got to get our attention. Okay, again, we don't need to see that as an umpire. Your cleanup, you see this guy accelerating when everyone else is slowing down, and that's a block we want to pick up. That is a block that's almost targeting, but that's definitely a foul for blindside block or personal foul, either one, and a great pickup by our umpire. And my note here says that when we're in doubt of a dead ball or live ball foul, we want to make it a dead ball foul. The runner's down. This is definitely a dead ball foul, and one that we want to make a dead ball foul. Illegal block again. This is on a kickoff. So remember, our umpire starting at the 50, and remember, we want you this year to diagonal in just 5 yards from the 50 to the 45, get into the hash. Okay, and if you do so, you're going to be in excellent position to see this block. So umpire, actually, my bad, you would be back here at the 45, and you'd be watching that action here. All right, and pick up that blindside block. So where's the blindside block? Again, right here by this defender. So umpires, if we get into the middle of the field where we're supposed to be, we're watching the blocks by players from the middle to the outside around the top of the numbers, and you got to look at which is the highest potential for a foul, and that's going to be this one right here. That'd be a great pickup by our umpire, and one that I expect that he could get. All right, we're going to look at several holding calls. I think we got 2 incorrect calls and 2 great job of not calling offensive holding. So let's take a look here. Positioning. This is a great example of our umpire being way too deep. We're at 9 yards. We should be right up here, just about a yard behind this linebacker for our initial positioning. All right, and we're going to first take a look at the block by the center. We're going to have an incorrect call by our umpire on the hold here. Not sure if he called it on the center or on this left guard, but let's watch the center first on this. We'll go in slow motion. Our center releases out and gets involved in this block right here that gets started by our back, and then our center picks it up as the guy spins. And I don't think our umpire threw on that one. So let's go back and take a look at the block by our left guard. Okay, so he is on the side of 55, but we do not see any restriction. There's no grab and restrict there. He's just pushing that guy. The defender went to the inside. And this, we talk a lot about blocking what is presented to them. So this defender, when he goes inside, that opens up the left side of his body to be blocked by the nose guard or by the center. And the center now just rides him, but he's not grabbing him, restricting him. He's just riding him. And that is not an offensive hold. There's no grab and restrict. Okay, I like where you're looking, but that's not a foul. Next one, again, incorrect call for offensive hold. To put a flag down on the ground for an offensive hold, we need a material restriction. It needs to be at the point of attack if it is not a takedown. So if we take a look at this one, again, our initial position of our umpire, the snap is at the 12, it looks like, and we're at the 1 yard line. So we're 11 yards deep. That is way too deep. This is a free safety or a strong safety, and this is our linebacker. So really we would want our umpire to be up here actually between the safety and the linebacker and have a position where you can see the ball being snapped. So we continue here. That's for our line of scrimmage guys. Umpire, again, the umpire starts to reach for his flag. One, there's not enough restriction for this to be a hold. Two, look where this potential hold is, and look at where the runner is. This has no impact on the play. This is a warn if best, but really, it's not even a warn. There's just not enough restriction here. My next note, holding calls are a two-step process. First, you see that there's a material restriction, and then you check the status of the ball. Put this in slow motion and take a look at this block. Again, there's just not a restriction there. All right, so that's not an offensive hold that we would want. And I think, we are looking backside, but we're looking actually too far backside. There's no reason to be all the way backside on this block when the runner's there. We want to shift to maybe this block or maybe even the action that could have happened here. All right, so again, be in position and see that we are looking in the right place. Think about offensive holding. You got to be able to put it in category for an offensive hold: grab and restrict, jerk and restrict, take down. If it's a grab and restrict or a jerk and restrict, one, both those say the word restrict, and two, they need to be at a point of attack or we are not going to flag them. Again, we've got our umpire at 9 yards, so get up a little closer. Okay, this is a very good example of a no call, a correct no call for offensive hold. He just rides this defender, and the guy tries to spin out of the block, and we want to make sure that we don't get fooled when they spin out of it or when they throw their hands up, that we have a hold. All right, so let's take a look at this action. All right, so umpire your backside. You know, depending on what you're looking at, you might see this block. If you are, again, right now, he's just got this guy and he just drives him. He's on the side. Again, he's blocking what's presented to him. He's got the side block and he just drives him and drives him. And this guy this defender puts himself in this position. He's trying to spin to get out of this. And there's just not a grab and restrict. Okay. And now talking about different officials there, but that's not one we would want for an offensive hold. A good job of not calling a hold by any of the officials on this play. Another correct no call for offensive holding. A little better positioning by this umpire. You can see we are 7 yards, so that's better. Just 2, maybe 3 yards behind our linebackers, so a very good position by our umpire. This is the action we're going to take a look at. Again, the defender tries to get rid of the offensive lineman. Remember, the defenders can hold and grab and pull offensive linemen. So we need to see this entire action. So right now, watch this defender. He's gonna grab, and he's ripping down this offensive player, trying to get rid of him. And if the offensive player was grabbing and pulling down 57, the offensive player would not be on the ground right now. 56, you can see his hand is on top of the back of the offensive player. So he is trying to get rid of him to make a block or to make a tackle. Great job by our umpire of pivoting with the action. Let's watch our umpire during this play. Again, we don't want to move until we have to and then move with the purpose. He waits. And let's take a look at this. This is one of our most experienced umpires in the state, one who was inducted into the Officiating Hall of Fame last year, Mr. Jim Pfeiffer. And let's watch. He doesn't watch the runner like we talked about earlier. He's watching blocks. The runner goes past, and look at his bill of his cap. What's he looking at? He's looking right at that potential block. and that's exactly where he should be looking. And then again, he's still shifting and staying backside, not watching the runner. And then we finish the play. That's exactly what we want. All right, this is our toughest one yet, but a great correct no call. Again, he just blocks what is present. The same one? My bad. I think I went forward. Sorry. Okay. All right. So past the offensive holdings. Now, ineligible player downfield. This is one that we probably call incorrectly more than any other call. In college and high school, both, it's just an incorrect call. This is one actually flagged by our wing, but one that our umpire definitely should have been able to help on. So, initial position of our umpire, we're snapping this ball at the 35. Our umpire is at the 28, so about 8 yards. I think we could have stepped up maybe another yard or two for initial positioning. All right, but let's run through this, then we'll come back. Umpire does step up, but remember, we want you to get to 3 to 4 yards. So when we step up here, we want you to be 3 to 4 yards. So snap was at the 35. We'd want you between the 31 and 32. So up another yard or so. And then you definitely are going to be able to see, yeah, we've got linemen downfield, but we also can help with the fact that this ball is touched probably 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And then when we get our flag by our line judge, umpire, you can definitely help up and get this picked up. All right, so remember, IDP is one that we need that ball to cross the line of scrimmage before we can have a foul for an ineligible player downfield. All right, a great example of what we want from our umpire, from our wing officials, and that is if there's action around the quarterback, do not blow your whistle for an incomplete pass. Our umpire is doing a great job of looking at this action. Umpires will not be looking at this action. Our quarterback is getting hit. Watch what happens. We've got a quarterback get hit. Does this ball come out of his hand and is loose before he completes his forward motion, or does he have control? The only one that should be ruling on that is our referee. But if we continue to watch here, we are going to have an incomplete pass signal by our umpire and by our line judge. We don't want either one of you signaling incomplete pass, because if that quarterback, when he got hit, that ball was loose in his hand, that ball could still come all that way downfield. It could even have a spiral on it, but that ball is loose in his hand, and that would therefore would be a fumble, and we don't want anyone to be ruling on that but our referee. Just a couple plays left. This is never seen this before, but if we do, this is one. It's just gotta raise a flag that we got something going on here. So let's watch this big 73. He actually lifts the runner off the ground. This dude's feet, this runner's feet, are not on the ground for like 6 yards. So let's watch 73. I mean, he's just carrying him. His feet are not. So what do we have? This has got to be a red flag that something's not right here. Okay, so this is aiding the runner. It's one of the very, very few times we want to call for aiding the runner. But what's the foul? When does it start? What's the enforcement? Well, aiding the runner, we have a running play. So where our basic spot is the end of a run on a running play. And this is a foul by the offense behind the basic spot because the run ends up somewhere down in here. And we start with our foul at the 19-yard line. So we are going to enforce that 5 yards from the 19. And it's a previous spot, or my bad, 5 yards from the 19, and we're going to repeat the down. So a weird one. I know we don't see this very often. You talk about aiding the runner. That's aiding the runner. Lifting up and carrying him is a foul for aiding the runner. All right, that's it. So umpires, again, Please watch this, learn about the different positions we want you in mechanically, where you should be looking, and the thresholds we want for especially offensive holding. If you like this, give it a thumbs up on YouTube. And umpires, I think it'd be a great idea for you to watch the position specific training videos for the referee, for the wings, and the back judges, so you have a great understanding of, or a better understanding of what they all do mechanically, and then it makes you better official. And if you're knowing what they're doing, it's going to put you in a better position to be looking at different blocks. So we will talk to you again soon.